A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum. My name is Shoaib Khan and welcome to Maxafter.com's tutorial Runningman. In this tutorial we'll be using a plugin called Trapcode Form. But if you don't have Trapcode Form, then you can always download the trial version from their website trapcode.com and then you can join us. Okay, so this is what we'll be doing. So we've got these dots applied to the real footage and then in the end it transforms into real footage. So this is what we're doing. Are you guys ready? So let's start the tutorial. Let's first start by creating a new comp. So we go to composition, new composition, and the size 720 by 576, 25 frames and 10 seconds, which is the duration of the video, and name it running color and press OK. Open this renders folder here and we've got our video here which is running. Let's put it into our new composition which is running color. Just drag it over here and you can see it appearing here. Okay, let's reduce the size because it's a bit bigger. So press S on your keyboard and it will reveal the scale parameters, and let's put 80 here. So this is our one comp which is called running color. We need another comp, a similar comp. So let's go and click this one. Let's first make a folder in here in the pre-comp. This is my folder, pre-comp Khan, which I did earlier. And let's make a new folder called tuts. Let's put all the pre-comps into your tuts here. Okay, now we need to make another comp, similar comp. I'll tell you why in a second. Okay, so click this one and Control D on your keyboard. So now we've got two similar comps here. And this one, let's press enter on your keyboard and call it fractal. Now we've got two comps here. Color, fractal, exactly same. Nothing's changed. Right. And let's make now another final comp where we'll put our both of these comps that we just created. Okay, so for that we go and create new comp. And again 720 by 576 and 10 seconds long. And we call it final tuts. And press OK, same timing and everything. And now drag both of these comps that we just created, simple comps. There's nothing in it, you know. If you click and see, color is just a video in here, and then the fractal just a video in here, same comp. Okay, so now we go back to our final tuts and shut the eyes. You know, we don't want to see these comps because we'll be using it as a reference for our form, you know, Trapcode Form. I just forgot to show you what's in the render video, you know what it is actually. So we go to renders and basically this is me running at a speed of around 400 miles per hour. So it's quite fast. People say that don't run fast because I might, you know, break the sound barrier or change into a time machine or something. So anyways, I try to run slow, so this is quite fast. I can very easily outrun a tortoise. And the other day actually I did it and nobody believes me. But anyways, you know, someday I'll put it on a video, on a film, and show it to the whole world that I can very easily, you know, outrun a tortoise, which is, you know, which is not easy for everyone. Right. So this is just a, you know, normal DV video, you know, not quite right, but you know, a bit pixelated and all that, but it doesn't matter. I've kept the background, so basically it's me, you know, running around. And we'll be applying, you know, Trapcode Form to this footage here. Okay, so let's go back to our final tuts. Now in the final tuts, we go and add a new layer, new solid, and we'll write here form, make it comp size, press this button here and be comp size, press OK. Right, and then you can come here and type form, and you can also access it from here, going to Trapcode. Okay, so drag this on top of the layer, and also you can always drop here as well. So two ways of doing it. Let's go to base form. Increase the size to 720 by 576, which we'll adjust it in a second. The next thing is we come down. We'll come back to this panel in a second, but we go down and first apply our maps so that we know what's happening. So for that we'll go to layer maps. In the layer map we have got color and alpha. There's color and alpha, and we click here, apply our footage. So we'll apply the footage which is color that we created, not the fractal one. So we'll use color here. and we come back and open it again, and here is RGB to RGB. If you want to see the color video, then you put it to RGBA to RGBA, but we don't want to see the real colors, we want to give it our own color, so we'll change it to A, and the map over will change it to XY. As you can see, it's already appearing here, and we need to increase the particles which are in X and Y so that they are more here and we can see. So let's say we change it to 250 and change this to 250 as well. Now quite a bit of particles here. So we see 3 here because it's in perspective, and the particles in Z space, 3 images you can see. So we need to change this to 1. Okay, next thing is we have applied our color in alpha, the color, the composition that we created. We'll fix that in a second as well. But also we need to apply the fractal composition, that we created earlier. We'll put it to a fractal one, So we go to layer and none, and we apply our fractal one, which is already in there. It will only show here if the comps are in here, otherwise it will not show. So map over XY. Okay, so now what we'll do is you go to particles. So there are so many settings, you can always play around with these settings and get the best settings. Okay, let's change the color to a bit of orange. You can see the color has changed. Okay, from here the next step is we'll go to fractal field, and we click here and we open it, and then we can change the displace. Here's how from here the magic starts. As you can see, it's already taking shape. So let's change this value to a different value, which is 128. Okay, so the next is we'll change these flows, this one to 50 and 50 and 50. So these are the values that you need to to experiment with to get different flows. So for me that was the best, because it flows in all the directions, like Y, Z and X as well. So as you can see, that's what it does. So we need to also turn on the flow loop so that the shape is is not that much distorted. So all these values here, they also play other different parts as well, which you need to check as well. So if you go to this one and increase it, so it brings it back, it kind of brings the shape back, to normal. This one is also very cool, F scale, if you press it, it's like water drops, With this trap code form, you can also create the effect of fluids, of liquid, like water drops forming a person, something like that, It's cool stuff. Do a research and see what they do. Let's go back to the running color that we created. Click on it, or you can come from here as well, running color. The reason I didn't apply the effects because I wanted to show you, how it works when you apply the effect. So let's apply a blur to it. Click blur, and we apply this one, and we click on it, drag on our layer, and let's change the value to 26. Now let's go back and see what happens, to the final. See, now the whole image is looking cool because of that blurriness, it's distorted more, and it's giving a bevel kind of an edge, and also it has softened the edges as well, So let's just lock this one. Okay, so once we lock it, and then we go back to our running color, which is this one, and we click on it. So this shows here as well. So what we do is we just drag it here to this corner. We've got 2 images now. You don't have to do this, but I'm just showing you, what happens when you increase and decrease the blur. So here we are, and press E and go back to our blur, and you can see the difference here. Let's say when it was 0, what happens? You can see that, the more crisp. But let's increase it, to 23. You can see that it's changed. Let's increase it more. Well, it looks very cool, when the edges are soft. So let's put the value which is 26, right? So this is a good value. Okay, another thing that I want to do is I just want to apply glow to it, so we can see it properly, And for that we will go back to our final touch, and we go to form and apply, glow to the layer here. We're not doing anything, special or complex, just a glow layer, so that we can see it. And let's change it to 0.5 or something. Oh, okay. Now let's go back to our running color, this one. One more effect that I want to apply is, which is vector, CC vector blur, and we drag it onto the layer. And let's change the values here. Let's change this one to 26, this one to 17, and this one to 15. Leave it to 15, and we change this to direction of fading. So it will be, fading with the movement of the runner. Let's change this one to 30 and see. So 30 is fine. So now these are the two effects that we have applied to color, right? Now let's go towards our fractal. Here we are in the fractal now, running fractal. There's nothing is applied here. We'll go again, apply the same blur, and when you change it, you see that it's become smooth, because it's a different blur, which is applied to fractal instead of color map, which is why it kind of smooths it, So, but we don't want it that smooth, so we'll just keep it to 2. And what we do, we'll apply a background to it to see what happens. We go to layer, new, solid, and we'll apply a white background. And when we apply a white background, you can see that it's distorted the edges, which looks a bit cool. When you close it, when you shut down the eye, you'll see, and notice how it changes here. So in fractal, we applied a white background and blur, and in running color, we applied just blur, 30, and vector blur, to get these results. So these are two small effects that we have used. Now if you go to Final Touch, we are here. Let's just close this and unlock this one. If you render, you'll see that now it's a bit smooth, and and you can see the flow and everything, It looks cool. Right, so we want this guy to run till 4 seconds, and after that we want this guy to transform and change into real colors. So for that, we will do is this is actually form yellow color, and let's duplicate, Control D, and change this to form color. So what we're doing is we're just duplicating the form effect. So let's go and click on form, press E and double click on it, and we reveal this form parameters. We come down, just simply change the color, in the layer maps, in the color and alpha, we change this function, from A to A, we change it to RGBA to RGBA. So this is what we get. If you turn off this one, you'll see the colors. Let's change the mode to add, so that they blend in nicely. Okay, till 4 seconds or 5 seconds, it depends. Let's say 4.5, and we want this guy to start appearing, So press T on your keyboard, and we change the opacity to 0. So we don't want to see the first one first. So let's go to 6 seconds something, and we change this to 100. So we want it to appear, in these frames. At the same time, we turn on this one and press T, and while this one is appearing, we want the other yellow one to disappear. So a simple transition, we put a keyframe here, and let's start it here somewhere. Change this to 0 because I want to see a little bit of merging in, the new color coming in. And let's change, press E and go to glow, and just increase this glow a little bit more, so that you can see. The next thing is we want to apply our original footage. So we come here to color and Control duplicate this one, and let's call this one original. Right, and if you go inside it, you have to remove all the effects. We don't need the effects for this one. Delete this one. Now you go back to Final Touch, and let's put this original on top of it. Put it on top. Let's reveal the keyframes for the other one. Let's put keyframe for this one, T. Press T on your keyboard, change this to 0. And we want this to appear from here somewhere. And it reaches here, just to play it. Change this to 100. I'll put it under color, so that we can see a bit of interaction. And then the color one, we want its opacity to turn, we want to turn it off, as well. We turn it to 0 when the original one comes, So this is how you make a transition. With this form, what you can do to blend it more nicely, what you can do is, if you go to Effect and go to Form and press U on your keyboard to reveal the other keys. So from here, we scroll down to Fractal Field and put a keyframe for Displace. And when it reaches here, we want the displace to be 0 as well, so that it becomes normal, when it reaches here. So it blends nicely. And now finally, we can just put a camera right now and change 15 millimeters. Press P. Let's put 2 position keys here, and when it reaches here somewhere, press C on your keyboard, again C, again C, again, and then zoom into it. Change this to F9. Right click, key assistance. If you can't see it, it's easy ease or F9 on your keyboard, and when you render it, you'll see. And then the other thing what I did was layer, new, solid, and okay, just put it in the background here. Apply ramp to it, and we change the ramp to radial ramp. Bring it here. Change this color to something like blue. This one to a black, and let's make it small. And we want it to appear from here somewhere. Press T on your keyboard, 0, and by the time it reaches here, we want it to appear. Okay, it disappears here because the length of the footage. If you click on it, it ends here. Let's trim it. Trim composition, so you know exactly where it ends. It ends here, so the whole comp should end here. So let's bring it in from here somewhere. Go and write layer, new, text. Let's type Running Man. Okay, come out of that mode and make the size a bit bigger. And also we want this to appear from here, and we apply tracking to it. You open it and go to Animate, and you need to apply tracking. If it's down there, if you can't see it, it's tracking. You come down, tracking amount is at the moment is 0. Put a keyframe here on the mount and go to last frame and just increase it. Right, and also you can apply a ramp to it. Change this color to a bit ramp. And also let's apply glow. And also let's apply, go to layer, new, adjustment layer, and apply a global glow, to all of it. Okay, and change this to 0.05 or something. We don't want too much glow. Right, so finally, we get that effect here. That's the blending in, into the real, footage. So this is how, you can do a cool transition from form into the real footage. Other comp is here as well, which I've spent more time. And if you come and click here, experiment with this comp as well. It's more brighter because I've applied, different glow effects and all that. So basic idea is the same. You need to, experiment on this comp as well, so that you get the best results. So I hope you have enjoyed this tutorial. Once again, my name is Shoaib Khan from Maxafter.com. Assalamu alaikum.